I am going to be making a scarecrow. I was going to use a tin can, but I couldn't find one that was big enough because I wanted, one of the 32 ounces maybe. I wanted the big can, not the small can. So while I was rummaging through my pantry, I found this, and it was a coconut oil jar that I noticed the congealed coconut stuff was expired. And so I was like, this will work just perfect. And so I'm going to be using this. You could use a tin can, whatever you want. I have painted it with vintage white, just the folk art vintage white. I was going to use chalk paint, but when I went to use it, it was all dried out. So I couldn't use the chalk paint. So I have given this 2 coats, and what else I'm going to need is some burlap for me to put on a hat, and then some acrylic paint I'm just going to paint some eyes. I am going to paint a nose and then give him a little mouth. And so, and then you need some foam, what do you call that? Floral foam. Said, here is I am going to put this here so you can see. Here is my face design. And so I think that might work. I may have to do him a little bit smaller because I don't want it to come. Hold on, let me just do this. Let's see how this works. Okay, I want this to be right there. So I think he may need to be a smidge smaller because I don't want his mouth to come there. So I think I'm just going to make him a little smaller. Okay. So what I'm going to do, oh my goodness, there's paint in my trash can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, instead of having transfer paper or carbon paper, I guess or sulfite paper. I don't know what it's actually called now because I never use it. I am just going to use this black pencil, and I am just going to color, sorry about that, color the back of my face here. I'm mostly just wanting the eyes. I'm terrible with eyes. I don't know about anybody else. Find which side I want. I'm going to put this here. And I made my eyes kind of wonky because to me, a scarecrow should be wonky. But this one still looks cute. Okay. Bring this one down just a little bit. Okay, let me see. I was thinking about using this little thing, but you know what? Because, oh, that looks really cute. It may kind of give it some dimension. Even though it's going to stick out, I think it'll look good. So I'm going to use this. And so all I have to do is paint the eyes. So see, with just a little pencil, we now have where his eyes need to go. And we didn't have to do any kind of special work. Just a piece of your basically your design, a pencil, and then trace it on top of it, and you're all set to go. Okay, I'm going to use some little brushes here. And pardon my reach here. I need some I need a palette. I just used a piece of paper earlier. Okay, so I need some white to paint his eyes. So I'm just going to paint over my pencil marks here. And this may probably take 2 coats. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. I am going to take this other one and paint his nose. Where'd the nose go? The nose is right here. I'm going to start with this bright orange. This is, sorry, but it's bright orange. That's the name of the color. So I guess that's what I wanted. Using our bright orange. Oh my. I got it. Okay, so I'm just going to paint this little part right here. I'm just going to do him in green. And just kind of go up like that. Do this a little more. Woo, my hand's shaky. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. And this is what we have so far. Looks kind of scary, doesn't he? This little guy right here, I'm going to give him a little bit of dimension. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some brown paint. So what I do is I wet my brush, and this is an angle brush. It's just got a little bit of an angle. And these are non-expensive paint brushes. These are just cheap brushes from Michael's. I am just going to take my, so you're going to take the long edge of your angle brush, and you're just going to swipe it through, and you just want paint. Hopefully you could see that you just want paint on the edge of the brush. You don't want it anywhere else. And even this, which you may not be able to see, is too much. So I'm just going to try to get some of that off. And then I'm just taking it on the edge. So I've got the long edge here, and I'm just going to need a little more. I have a little too much water. I'm just going to go around the edge. This was an old, I learned this technique in a toll painting class that I took. Well, my son is going to be 39. Oh my gosh, that's hard to believe. Anyway, I took it when he was about 4. So it was a long time ago. And it is a technique that I have been using ever since. So like I said, it just kind of gives you a little bit of an outline around it and kind of distresses it and makes it look a little bit old. Do our green again. Make sure my brush is dry. So I'm just going to give him another coat. I guess you can say that was one helpful thing about COVID. It brought everybody to the internet. Doing workshops, you don't have to go anywhere. Hold on, I'm concentrating and I can't speak and concentrate. Oh my gosh. I can't speak and concentrate. Otherwise, I make all kinds of mistakes. I'll have to fix that one. He's going to be kind of covered up, but I'll... This is how I paint, people. This is real. Oh, my. Trying to say I can't paint and think and... Okay. That looks pretty good. Can't wait to get all the little details with it. I'm going to give him some eyelashes. Okay. So here we go. And then I'm just going to go around with just a black pen. I'm just going to make this really simple. I'm going to put his nose right there. Actually, I need to heat up my hot glue gun. And then I am going to, I think, you could just draw this with, you could just use, you know, a marker or a pen to do this. But for some reason, I just feel like I want to paint it. So if this will work, I will just give this a whirl. Let me get this kind of... Sometimes if you kind of roll your brush when you're pulling it away from the paint, it gets the tip rounder. And if there's any stray hairs, it will kind of put them all together. Just do a little bit right there. And connect it right there. Okay, so there we go. I am just going to do a little dash. Very lightly. Okay, so there we have our, hold on, I'm going to make that one an X. Okay, so there we have our mouth. That's all done. He looks kind of creepy. He looks cute here, but if you're seeing this, he looks a little creepy. But anyway, we'll get him done. So he's not so creepy looking. Okay. Let's get this dry. I need to get his nose on, but let's finish up these eyes. Oh, and I need to give him some lashes. Forgot about that. Maybe he's just going to be cute. Okay. So I have this burlap. And I think I'm just going to cut a square. I'm going to cut a little piece of this foam. Let's see if this will work. Okay, that'll work. We'll just do this. And I think that's going to be perfect. Okay. So, I didn't come up with this idea. I got it from somebody else, and I don't remember who. But it was a great idea. So I'm just going to cut, let's see, I need it to, let's cut it a little bigger. We can always trim it off. All right, I want this to be square. Let me just take this like this and cut some of this off. Let me move that. Okay. I should cut that off since it's going to be, but we'll see. Okay. So what I want to do, let me see this. This is just the floral foam, and it is 3.5 inches wide, and it's maybe 2 inches deep. This is 18 inches. It's an 18-inch square, or almost square. Okay, so what I want to do, and I might want this to be a little bigger. I'm thinking I do. I want this bigger. So let me cut this again. I'm going to take a ruler this time. Maybe I can get it straight. Just take this. Yeah, this is better. Okay, because that's much straighter than this one was. Okay, so now this is 2.5 inches. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to gather it up. Yeah, and I've got plenty. And then we can trim it off however we want. And I'm not going to tie it here. I'm going to tie it right here. So I'm just going to gather this, and then I'm going to use my jute rope. And this is, if you have an extra hand at home, get somebody to help you. Okay. So we're just going to kind of gather this up a little bit. And I'm just going to tie this here. Get it in a knot. And then let's give him a little trim. All right. I was going to leave it in a square, but I think I might make it a circle. I want to make sure I get it enough. Whoop! One more little section here. And let's see what he looks like. I'm going to put this down a little bit. And this still may be way too big, but we shall see. Because this is going to, oh, that's way too much. Yeah. That's too much. Okay. Let's make the circle smaller. Do this, this. I'm going to do this like this like that. I'm just going to cut this, maybe. There we go. Okay, let's see how that works. Maybe this will be better. Oh, I think that'll be better. I'm going to give him some hair for raffia and do on his nose, and then I think we're almost done. Okay. Oh, that's much better. This is going to work much better. So this is about a 14-inch circle. So just so that you know that, it's about 14 inches. And I'm going to do this, get my jute right there, and hold on to that, and give it a tie. Oh, come on. Pulled the wrong one. I thought I was. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. I'm going to cut this just a little bit. Okay, pull it down. Then we can kind of adjust it a little. So then this is going to sit like this, just like that. And I'm probably going to have to trim it just a little bit in the front so that you can actually see his little face. Okay, so I'll work on that. Let's get the eyes done. We're going to glue on that nose. Let me use a little E6000. I think this one will work. Okay, and I'm just going to go around here. I'm going to have to kind of, there you go. Woo! Working on a round surface is not easy. Pieces. Okay, so I am going to, he is looking so cute. I need a white pen. Yet, all right, I'm going to do just a little dash here. Let me make sure this one's working. I have such a hard time with paint pens. I'm going to do 2 dots over here. And do one here. And do 2 dots up here. All right, we just need to give him some eyelashes. Fix his hat, decorate his hat, and give him a scarf. And then we're done with this little guy. I'm going to trim this up some more. I can leave the back as it is. Oh, I got to put some hair on him. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Oh, that looks better. Just going to have to move my little thing down so that you don't see the foam. All right, that looks good. I know you can't see it. That looks pretty good. I just need to get some eyelashes. I'm just going to use a pen. That's something I do. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that. If I can get that off, I may have to do a little, I mean, scarecrows should be dirty anyway. Oh, I didn't get his little over here. That was the only thing I did good. Okay. All right, so let's give him some hair, and then we're going to be done. Using some raffia. Let's see. And I think I'm just going to gather it up. Let's see. How can we do this? Okay. I'm just going to take it and do this. Let me cut this off. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about the back because no one's going to see that. And then just glue this like here. And maybe glue it down just a little bit. No, you can't see that. Sorry, it's hard to work on the it's hard to work on the top. Let's get this here and get a little over here and try not to burn myself. I saw this lady, she had a I have them, but I don't use those little rubber things that are on your hands. And she actually had like a a foam piece or something on the end of a like a skewer or something. I was like, that's a smart idea. That's a real smart idea. I know I don't have to get this all glued down because it's going to have a hat on top. I'm going to cut this off. Okay. I'm just going to add some of this to the back, even though it's not necessary. But I don't want him to be bald in the back. Woo, that glue's hot. Woo. Ah. Add his little hat on. Just do it just like that. Add his hat. And then we're going to decorate. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'll do the reveal. Just a second. It's just so cute. Oh my gosh. And kind of get him all decorated up. Push him down. Hold on. Look at my Scarecrow, y'all. Is he not adorable? So now let's get, I just want a couple of flowers and maybe a couple of leaves. I am going to get, he's just so cute. Oh my gosh. He's just so cute. He needs some rosy cheeks though. I'll have to do that. I'll do that in a minute. And I could have done some bangs. And I could add some more back here, which I might. Just so that he's got hair all over. But this is just so cute. I mean, look at that. Just kind of hot glue that down there. I think I will. Okay, I'm going to add a couple of flowers. And just pull these off and a couple of these leaves. I don't know how many I might need. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to actually hot glue that right there, but I'm just going to put like some of these leaves here. I will do them up. We'll cut these off. I might need another one. I may even do some of my fall leaves. Where did my fall leaves go? Oh, they're right there. I like this burlap one. Oh, that's cute, but I think I have an orange one. I think that might look good with my little flowers. And then add some green. Okay, this project is hard to work on so that you can see it.